causes heat damage? Hey, it's Kaylin. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that you guys can be updated with all my future videos. And let's just get into it. So what happens when you get heat damage? There are a couple different types of things that happen when you get heat damage. One of those things is your hair pigmentation changes. And I told y'all in a previous video that like if you have dark brown hair, the heat affected area might be red, then it might be light brown. But your hair getting lighter is one of the changes that happens when you have heat damage. Another thing that happens is the keratin in your hair that gives your hair its strength and protein starts to break down, which is why we do protein treatments in order to rebuild our hair and rebuild the protein that we lost. Another thing that happens is the outer surface cuticle of your hair, it starts to crack and fray. And another thing that happens is the moisture that's inside of your hair strand evaporates. And that's why I stress to you guys over and over and over how important deep conditioning is, because deep conditioning moisturizes your hair on the inside, not just the outside. So how moisturized your hair is and your hair's ability to retain moisture is very important for not just curly hair, but for when you're straightening your hair and you want to prevent getting heat damage. So a couple things that you'll see when you get heat damage is if you have curly hair, your hair might start to turn into a wave. And if you see that wave, that means that your hair can kind of be saved. It actually depends on your curl pattern. Like if you have super tight coily hair and then your hair is a wave, you probably can't save it. It's probably not gonna go back into a coil. But if you have like a coil and it's just a looser coil and it starts to turn into a curl, like you could probably save it. Like you guys know what your hair texture is, so you should know whether or not your curl is super damaged or not. But depending on how loose the curl pattern is, you could potentially save it by doing protein treatments. Now if you have curly hair and that strand is just bone straight, then you probably can't save it and you probably need to cut it off because your hair has lost its elasticity and it's not coming back. So how heat protectants work? Heat protectants have silicones in them, which is basically like a liquid plastic film, and the silicones will help reduce water loss, and they also have low thermal conductivity. So have you guys ever flat ironed your hair and by the time you guys went to pick it back up, it was like super hot and you had to wait like 5 seconds before you could touch it again because it needed to cool down? That's not a good thing, and that probably means that your heat protectant is not working. That means that your hair got really hot and it stayed hot for a while. It didn't have time to cool back down. And that's the type of thing that can get you heat damage. So if you use a heat protectant would prevent your hair from getting that hot and staying that hot. So heat protectants don't 100% prevent heat damage, but they do greatly reduce your chances of getting heat damage by evening out the way your hair heats up, and it cools your hair down super fast. Keep in mind, an oil is going to cook on your hair and boil. A serum is not going to do that, so don't use olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, whatever type of oil. Do not use oils on your hair as a heat protectant because you're causing more damage than you are good. So the number one question that everybody has to ask is, will I get heat damage? If you straighten, curl, blow dry, use any form of direct heat often, then yes, you will get heat damage at some point. And if you use heat often in a small duration of time, then it increases your chances of getting heat damage. And the best way I can give an example of this would be, let's say you decide to straighten your hair September 1st and your hair is 100% healthy, it's at its healthiest. So September 1st you straighten your hair, now your hair drops down to 95% healthy. Then in 2 weeks you decide to straighten your hair again, now your hair is about 85% healthy. Then you straighten your hair again and it's like 80% healthy. So the more you straighten it, the more often, the weaker your hair is going to get. But let's say your hair was 100% healthy and you straightened it one time in September, so now your hair is 95% healthy. Now, October, November, December, you have all this time to give your hair what it needs to get it back up to 100% healthy. So you could do a protein treatment, you could just keep deep conditioning and moisturizing your hair and just rebuilding your hair's strength and giving it a break from the heat. So come January, your hair is back 100% healthy and it can take heat better. Now y'all, this is just an example. You can straighten your hair one time and it'd be 100% healthy still, but this is just for example purposes. But the overall health of your hair plays the biggest role in whether or not your hair on to moisture, then you're more likely to get heat damage than somebody who has just moisturized hair. So how can we prevent heat damage? Take good care of your hair when it's in its natural state, because that's going to drastically reduce the chances of you getting heat damage. The healthier your hair, the better. Another way you can prevent heat damage is to wash your hair before you straighten it. And I mean wash it. Shampoo the heck out of your hair. And of course, condition it after you finish shampooing so it's not dry. But make sure your hair is clean. We use so many products on our curly hair on a daily and weekly basis that you want to make sure that your hair is just completely stripped and clean from all of that. Because if you flat iron your dirty hair and that product that was not made to be heat resistant heats up, it's going to damage your hair. And who knows how long that product is going to take to cool back down, because everything in the world takes heat differently. So with that being said, don't use a whole bunch of products on your hair when you're getting ready to straighten it. Don't put a leave-in on, don't put oils on, don't put some sort of styling cream or whatever you're using to moisturize your hair, unless it was made to be a heat protectant. One, because your hair is going to be weighed down from all of that product. And two, because your hair will probably burn because it wasn't made to withstand heat. That's why we take care of our hair before we straighten it, so that when we do or we decide to, we can do it without having any worries at all, because our hair is at its healthiest. So that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.